From the Showboat Hotel, Casino, and Bowling Center, it's bowling's premier Mega Bucks event, the 16th High Roller.
Hotel, Casino, and Bowling Center. You never forget a high roller moment. Greetings from Las Vegas. I'm Mike Jakubowski, along with 11-time PBA champion and Brunswick Tour staff member Randy Pedersen. And Randy, the high roller is really something special.
It really is, Mike. When you're talking about this kind of money, it's pretty easy to get excited.
We have two semifinal matches. In our first semifinal matchup, Paul Renteria from Las Vegas, Nevada is getting set to face Mike Moore from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Mike Moore, in his very first high roller event, makes it all the way to the televised finals. It says a lot about his talent, otherwise he wouldn't be here. And Paul Renteria is the past winner of this tournament, and he knows what it feels like to have $200,000 in his back pocket.
And our second semifinal matchup, Doug Becker from Altamont Springs, Florida, is getting set to face Frank Grasso from Hillsborough, New Jersey.
Frank Grasso, a 9-year veteran of the high roller event, and Doug Becker, a very talented lefty, the only lefty on the telecast today, has been working diligently on his game with Jason Couch, who's a touring professional. Obviously, the work's paid off.
We have 4 exciting matches from the Showboat. $375,000 up for grabs, $200 large to the winner, and we'll be back with our first semifinal match from Showboat Lanes. It's the High Roller. The High Roller is brought to you by Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide. By Contour Power Grips, the pioneers of the finger grip industry. More pros choose Contour Power Grips. You should too. By Coca-Cola, always Coca-Cola. By the Showboat Hotel, Casino, and Bowling Center. Make plans today to stay at the all-new Showboat on your next visit to Las Vegas. And by the High Roller. For the best in Megabucks events, choose the High Roller Tournament Series. Semifinal match, Paul Renteria and Michael Moore. Renteria will open on the left-hand lane, bowling in lanes 51 and 52 here at the Showboat. 2 semifinal matches. The winner here will advance to our championship match for $200,000.
Very nice start. Paul Renteria's got a very powerful game. A lot of revolutions, very strong cupped hand position at the bottom of the swing. And when he gets it going, he can really strike a lot.
First look at Michael Moore, Greensboro, North Carolina, 20 years old. Very deliberate player, making his opening shot. An opening strike for Moore. Randy, we have a 30-second shot clock. And for the first violation is a warning.
Second violation is $200, and the third violation you don't want to know about. It's $1,000. But Mike, in his first, I'm guessing his first televised appearance anywhere, trips the 2-pin forward for his first shot of the match, which got to loosen him up a little.
Revolutions holding the pocket and carrying. Front 2 for Moore. Contour Power Grips will award $10,000 to the first player to throw a perfect game on the telecasts. More top players use Contour Power Grips. You should too.
Mike took advantage of that trip 2-pin, doubling up. Renteria can tie it up right here with a strike.
Renteria, local favorite here from Las Vegas. Bit high.
Well, ball hooked high. Didn't look like he got it as far right as he did on the left lane, leaving the 3-6-10. Obviously, the problem here is you're trying to avoid the chop. Very easy to chop this spare. Try to get the ball to the right of the 3-pin and have the ball deflect into the 6-10.
catch it on the outside, and leading the 6, our first open frame. And the way these matches go, it kind of seems to be which player blinks first has the advantage.
Well, there's a tremendous amount of pressure. I mean, with that much money going to the winner of this event, it's remarkable that these guys can get out there and just, get their feet moving.
This is an entirely single game, scratch, match game elimination. Win and you advance, lose and you're out. Coming up a bit light that time.
Gets a break, just leaves the 5-pin. And that shot there was a little bit right of the shot before in the right lane, and that one comes up light. I don't know if the right lane hooks a little bit more than the left lane. It appears that it does at this point in time. So Paul's going to have to make some adjustments.
Well, nobody misses the 5-pin. Mike Moore with an opening double can extend his lead here, third frame. Our first semifinal match. Our second semifinal match will feature Doug Becker and Frank Grasso. Looked like he was a bit outside of his line that time.
Well, again, leaving the 2-pin. He's going to have to move a little bit right on this right lane.
Take a look at match play for Mike Moore. Here are all the players he took out in single game match play, including Lee Brocious. On the conversion, all you got to do is knock him down. Taking out Tom McCarrick in the final round to make the television show. 21-pin lead for Moore, fourth frame.
Come on, ball.
Well, he's got a tough spare now. He leaves a 2-8-10, the ball going just a little bit too long on both lanes. He's got to try to figure out a way for that ball to start hooking about 3 or 4 feet sooner.
How do you go about making the spare?
You throw it at the 2-8 and pray.
Give it a shot.
We'll be back with more of our opening semifinal match. Paul Renteria, 7 pins down. We'll be right back. Fourth frame, Paul Renteria trails by 7. Working on a spare. 32-year-old bowler. His fiancée Deanna is watching anxiously. As is most of the staff here at the Showboat that know Paul's game very well.
Well, last frame on the right lane went through the nose. And this time goes Brooklyn. So Paul's obviously a little confused on the right lane, and I'm confused too. I don't know which way you should go. Left or right? It's kind of hard to say. Makes a spare.
We're through 4 in our opening semifinal match. We're within a mark. And this format is so tough because you can win with 160, you can lose with 240. It's just win. Who's got the guts? Who's got the shot? This game, this match right now.
Paul has changed balls on the left lane here. So obviously his wheels are turning. He's making adjustments. At least that ball got down the lane. You know, the other ball looked like it was starting to grab the lane a little bit too soon. He's having trouble controlling and getting it right of the head pin. Now that one there looked like he might have a little better chance with. Notice that he's playing in between the third and fourth arrow. This ball gets just if it hooked just a little bit more in the back end, he probably would have carried a Wally. Instead, he leaves himself with a 2-7, tricky spare.
Get it.
Picking up the left-handed baby, now spare. Ten-pin lead for Moore, following an open in the fourth. See if he can regroup. Flirted with the 2-pin, tripping the 2 in the first and leaving the 2 back in the third on this lane, lane 52. Coming up high.
Well, Michael Moore's got a very nice approach, 6-step approach. Holds the ball waist level. Now he's got a little different type of backswing, a little bit of movement, but at the bottom of the swing, he has really nice side turn and axis tilt in the ball. He gets his hand around the ball real nice.
What does that do to the ball?
Well, what it does is when you tilt the axis like that, it gives it a chance to hook more in the back end. Depending on what your speed's like, if you soften your speed up because the ball is kind of rotating sideways, once there's friction created, it's really going to go left in the back end.
Just like that one, although he couldn't kick the 10.
Well, that shot there looked like it was a little softer speed. He's been coming up light with the exception of the last shot, and that one he got a little softer with it, and then that allowed the ball to turn over in the back end. It's a good solid game.
Well, Paul Renteria handed the lead on the bench. As we move to his 6th frame, leads by a single stick.
Took his hand out of that shot a little bit, and that got the ball to go a little bit longer down the lane.
Well, it's not tough to get emotions worked up when you're bowling for this kind of money.
No, absolutely. It's interesting. He tried the black ball for one shot, and he's back to the blue ball.
And there's that 2-pin again. Here's a look at who Paul Renteria faced in match play. Eliminating Jeff Clapp. Shooting mostly 200s. Janowitz and Arnie Goldman, the last to fall. And Renteria finds himself in a semifinal match. With a spare, he'll maintain his 1-pin lead. We'll be back with the remainder of our opening semifinal match. You're watching the High Roller from the Showboat. Mike Jakubowski and Randy Pedersen back at the High Roller from the Showboat. 7th frame, Mike Moore trails by a pin, working on a spare in his 7th frame. Leaving the 4-6-7 split on his last lane. See what kind of adjustment he's got. Coming up high again.
Run it down, Mike.
Well, he got a good break. He avoided the split, only leaving the 3-pin. For this guy's game, this is automatic.
On top of the 3.
Well, he's been going light on the right lane. With the exception of the last 2 shots, this shot's just pulled, and the ball doesn't have a chance to stay right of the head pin. Got fortunate to only leave the 3-pin.
2 pins the difference. 8th frame. Down the pocket. Trip forward a beauty.
It's a good shot, and very fortunate. It had good carry. But I think that axis tilt, when you get that ball rolling sideways like that, it keeps the pins down. You trip a lot more 4-pins. You bump the 10s out.
This field here at the High Roller, an initial field of 1,045 contestants, all single game match play elimination. Every match with a lot of pressure, a lot of people yelling from the stands. What a great event here at the Showboat. And this tournament is open to all amateurs. Men and women are eligible to compete. Renteria crossing. Players from around the world, some Taiwanese. Saw some spinners in here. Boy, was that fun
That's
to watch
very
those
interesting
players.
to watch. Here's Paul. This ball never gets right, and it didn't have a chance, but the only chance he had was to go Brooklyn, gets a good break, and there's Paul's reaction.
And that's what it's all about here at the high roller. Who's got the guts? Who can get the breaks? Strikes up. See who can take advantage here in the ninth.
This match is like it's turned into survival of the fittest.
Light. What a break. Brad Edelman has made the call. The pin went down clean. If it had touched the machine, it would have been respotted.
Take a look here. This ball was right at the last shot. And this thing takes its time.
Oh, there it goes.
Barely.
Reminiscent of that trip to last year when David Neal
Exactly.
took home $200,000.
That was the biggest trip two I've ever seen.
Still a tight match.
Mike Moore not getting the same break.
We go to the 10th. Moore can shoot 193. Really needs to double here to put some pressure on Renteria.
Yeah, he really does. Double here will put the pressure back on Paul and make Paul show up in the 10th.
A little more speed. A little off on the line, however. The pressure just never lets up.
Well, you know, and the pressure is quadrupled when you don't have all that good a shot and you feel like you have a crack to hit just to get the ball to the pocket.
167 for Mike Moore.
It's a lot easier when you have a little bit of area and you know you can miss left and right and the ball still gets to the pocket.
Although Moore, in the consolation match, if he fails to win here, will go on to bowl for $50,000. So that's not the worst thing in the world.
Not a bad week.
That, of course, coming up in our third match.
You know, I think now Paul's got the match well in hand. Obviously, the match is over. Paul needs to experiment now. He hasn't been close on the right lane yet, and he needs to just change balls or do something completely different and see if he can get a different type of look on the lane, because, you know, throwing Brooklyns or relying on Brooklyn strikes isn't going to win him $200,000. And then he picks up another ball and tries to move in a little deeper.
Paul Renteria advances to the championship match. He'll have a shot at $200,000.
He's been here before, you know. He knows what it takes to win the high roller.
203, 167. We will see Mike Moore in our consolation match, but first, our second semifinal, Doug Becker and Frank Grasso. And we'll be back with our second semifinal match, Becker v. Grasso, coming up from the high roller. Welcome back to the high roller, our semifinal match number 2 as Frank Grasso faces Doug Becker. Becker to open on the left lane. Becker, 32, from Altamont Springs, Florida. Only left-hander in the field.
Fellow Floridian.
See what kind of line he's got in his opening shot. Outside and all 10.
A great opening shot from Doug Becker. Now we get a first look at Frank Grasso.
Boy, he had a group of people rooting him on in here, and believe me, if he gets striking, you're going to hear him.
Formerly from Staten Island, great Johnny Petraglia from Staten Island.
Good opening shot. Couldn't slap the check.
Yeah, it was a good opening shot. You know, the nerves are flying. You got butterflies in your stomach, and you know, if the worst thing that happens to you is leaving a weak 10, that's okay.
Let's look at his average in match play. He averaged 202 against his opponent's 192. Each of these players undefeated to this point. Single game match play. That opening frame, spare for Grasso. That'll work out some of those butterflies. He lists his travel companions as the East Coast. I believe one of the boroughs is in attendance this afternoon.
He's got a lot of fans.
Including Bob Przicki, the defending Super Bowl high roller champion, who made it to the second round in this tournament. This high roller from Showboat. $1 million prize fund in this high roller event, and with all the sweepers and other action, total $2.5 million prize fund. There it is, and there's the crowd. Grasso's got some adrenaline going.
He's pumped. He says, week 10 this. Let me rip the rack in half.
Here's a player that has a lot of experience. Team competition on the Brunswick World Team Challenge. Made a telecast earlier this year on the Brunswick Best Ball Challenge. Becker second frame on a strike. And a little trouble early.
Dougie's got great form. Kind of a throwback, traditional stylist. Four-step approach. Ball's about head high. Good knee bend. Not a lot of revolutions, but he's very accurate, and he's a shot maker.
What's he going to do to get this spare?
Oh, he's got to try to slide the 3-pin over in the 7-pin. Try to just pick it off. Just catch the right side of it.
And
He went for it.
14-pin lead for Grasso. Becker on and open now. Third frame. Lists his hobbies as golfing and karaoke. His favorite karaoke song is Come Monday by Jimmy Buffett.
He's a great singer. I've heard Dougie many a times. I don't know much about his golf game, though.
Trouble.
You know, I see this happen week in and week out. You know, he comes up light on the right, excuse me, on the right lane, and I think the shot on the left lane was a direct result of what happened on the right lane. This shot, he's a little, you know, he doesn't want to get it wide and leave another 3-7, so gets it in just a little bit right through the face.
Although don't count anybody in this format. Seen so many matches turn in the 9th and 10th, missed single pins, doubles, wild things happening. Gutter balls on spares, gutter balls on doubles.
It's a very interesting tournament.
In fact, I even saw a match down on this end where needed just count to win on a spare, went channel, makes the spare, still needs count to win. He throws the ball, it's headed right for the head pin. Rack comes down, rejected.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, these guys are amateurs, and they're not used to, obviously not used to bowling for this kind of money. I mean, who is? This guy's handling it. He's handling the pressure. 5-step approach of Frank Grasso. Big first step, big second step. Got a nice high backswing. He's got a straight. His left leg straightens up at the slide, right at the foul line, but obviously very effective for him. And I think he kind of likes this type of pressure.
Plus, he's feeding off his fans in attendance. On a double, 4th frame. Oh, solid 10.
What a great shot.
4 in the pocket.
Yeah, he starts out with a flat 10, doubles, and then ring and 10, and I mean, he could very easily have a 4-bagger. This is a great shot. This ball is just dead flush. 6 goes around the 10, but that could have struck.
spare. 3 marks plus the lead. We'll be back right after this. Back at the Showboat in the high roller, Doug Becker, 4th frame, following an open. Needs to get something going. Left 3-7 last time in this lane.
Ball change for Doug. It's a little high. Leaving the 6-pin, but that's better than leaving the 3-7. This spare's a lot easier to make.
Becker's largest single prize ever earned was $15,000 at the Brunswick Sweeper at the 1996 Hoinke Super Classic. He will best that no matter what happens today. 4th place is good for $25. On the spare, 35 pins the difference.
I'll tell you, this format is so tough. You know, if you don't get it right, you don't have another game. And especially when you get into trouble early, man, it's really hard to get your composure back and then, try to start putting some heat on your opponent, the money, the lights, the TV. Oh boy, it's a lot to ask. This guy's very capable.
Flip well.
Becker back in the pocket on that left lane. Now Grasso, 5th frame. Every ball in the pocket to this point. Grasso, superstition are not shaving. Doesn't look like he's clean shaven, so looks
I like
he
that.
kept up with the superstition.
I like that. This guy's just got this guy's straightforward, just kind of a lock and load type of game. Steps up on the approach, puts the ball in his hand, and lets it rip. That's wide.
Happy that the washout didn't appear. Frank Grasso through match play, eliminating Brian Bogosian, 238-212. Taking out John Gaines. Oh, what a match that was. Gaines had a smash 7 and then a ringing 10 to lose by a pin, and then he goes to a tiebreaker. Bowling a 9th and 10th frame roll-off to advance to this semifinal here at the high roller. He's on the
1-2-4. Mike, one of the keys here is if you're not going to strike, try to leave yourself something you're going to make. Avoid trouble, make your spares. When you hit the pocket, hope you carry, and I think if you do that, you've got a good chance.
And take nothing for granted. Like we've seen channel balls on spares, on doubles, 10th frame. There's that 10 again.
Good shot. The ball just not finishing quite hard enough to get the 10 out. But he's with the exception of the last shot, he's keeping the ball in play. He's keeping it around the pocket. And hopefully, he makes his spares. And although he did have trouble with the first 10 pin he shot at, the last one was no problem.
Uh-oh. He's got it. Okay. On top of the 10. Although we did leave the door open for Becker with a strike. If he can put up a double here, we can get with almost within a mark. Sixth frame for Becker on a strike. Can take the lead down to 22 with all 10.
Dougie's got to start turning it up.
Come on!
There it is. Double for Becker. It's Marcel Baumann, VP of Hotel Operations here at the Showboat looks on. Hosts of the 16th high roller. Becker with his first double.
Well,
Doug Becker in match play. 220, 227, tough matches. Some 212 and 26 thrown against him. Taking out Chris Hayden and Frank Guccione to make it to this point.
real big scores today. Well, after that ball change, Dougie went a little high, leaving a 6-pin, and he's now doubled. We'll see if this is the right ball change. Obviously looks good at this point.
Got a chance.
Oh, ringing 7.
What a great shot. It's frustrating. You make the ball change, you just pipe 4 shots in a row, you come away with 2 strikes, and you know he needs to strike.
A whole week of competition going on here at the High Roller, in addition to this $1 million, $200,000 first prize main event. Lots of sweeper action.
God bless.
And flagging a 7. We'll be back with the conclusion of our final semifinal match. 34-pin leader is Frank Grasso. We'll be right back. 7th frame. Frank Grasso up by 34, working on a spare. Winner here advances for a shot at $200,000. And an opportunity.
Well, that's the kind of stuff, you know, I was talking about. Gets it wide, leaves a washout. Now he's got to try to get the ball over left of the head pin into the 1-2, sliding the head pin into the 10-pin. Here he is. This ball just gets right of target and never recovers.
He'd flirted with the washout in the 5th frame, kicking out the 10.
What a shot!
It's tough sitting on the bench waiting for commercial, and he comes out in just a textbook cover on that spare, and that's big. I mean, avoids an open frame. You know, sometimes sitting on the bench, you fill it with your tape, you're doing this, you're doing that, you get up, and all of a sudden make an errant shot, but luckily you made the spare.
Becker adding up the possibilities. 31-pin lead. 8th frame.
This guy, watch this shot here. This ball is a little bit left, got some nice fingers into it, and just saws the rack. And look at this reaction. If that 7-pin would have stood up, he would have ran down there and ate that 7-pin. Just chewed it in half. I love watching him strike. Well, you know, Dougie made the ball change. He's flushed every ball since then, but left 2 6-pins, and he missed the 10-pin. Or missed the 7-pin rather. Those 3, if he catches those 3 hits, he's right back in the match. In fact, he's leading the match.
31 pins. Got to have this one in the 9th.
Well, Dougie's got to strike out here. Strikes out here, his chances of winning this are greatly increased. Frank would still have to stay clean, which obviously doesn't appear to be that easy with the lane conditions being as tough as they are. But yes, I think I'd call this a must-strike situation. Well, got it wide, leaves it 3-6-7. Object here is a slide to 3 into the 7.
And Becker is going to need to regroup.
You know, I really thought Doug would do much better than this. And I don't know how much of it is the lane conditions or how much of it is him fighting his ball reaction or him fighting his release, or if he's just making bad shots. But I really thought he'd do much better in this. He's a great player.
Well, he'll have another opportunity coming up in the semifinal match with still a nice chunk of change to be had. $50,000 for third, $25,000 for fourth. He'll come back in the semis, or rather the consolation match.
The animal Grasso. Oh, he's fun to watch. He is fun to watch. He's a real nice guy, too. Watch this shot. Just absolutely dead flush. 6 just disintegrates the 10, and this reaction is priceless. Oh, yeah. He's like, 200,000? Show me the money. He's something out of World Wrestling Federation. This guy's great.
Match in hand, still concentrating though. I guess you're entitled to yank one every now and then.
That's okay. You know, with the exception of 2 shots, this guy kept every ball right around the pocket. Made a great spare when he made the washout, and I mean he's getting the job done.
That's what it's all about here at the High Roller. He's single game scratch elimination.
He's surviving.
Grasso will advance to face Paul Renteria for $200,000. But first, Doug Becker and Michael Moore will get it on for third and fourth place. $50,000 on the line. And we'll be back with that consolation match right after this.
Hi, I'm James Mack. I'm here with Art McKee, Research and Development Technician for Brunswick. Art, Brunswick's come out with a revolutionary new bowling ball, the Quantum Helix.
That's right, James. Helix is our latest ball out. It's a 5-component design made up of a high-density mushroom inner core surrounded by a lower-density outer core. The cover stock is a 3-component, 3-inch wide urethane stripe surrounded by highly reactive material on the end caps.
Well, speaking of cover stocks, one of the major problems bowlers have today is dealing with the breakdown of lane conditions. Highly reactive cover stock balls like the Sage Quantum and the Fire Quantum work well as long as the lane conditioner allows them to get through the front part of the lane. But ultimately all lanes break down and these balls are rendered unusable often, forcing bowlers to go to lower reactive balls such as the Black Rhino.
That's right. They can go to a low reactive ball such as that and get through the heads a lot cleaner, but then they lose a lot of reactivity down the lane. That's where Helix comes in. Its conventional urethane stripe allows it to get through the heads very clean, but give the power and hook of a highly reactive ball down the lane.
Well, this all sounds very complex to me. Are there any special drilling techniques needed to make this ball work?
Definitely. Each Helix has to be drilled for the individual bowler according to his or her access point, assuring that their track starts on the urethane stripe through the front part of the lane.
Well, this all sounds very exciting, Art. We look forward to more products from Brunswick in the future.
Thanks, James.
All right, Bob Dolan, Earl Anthony at the Showboat.
And we're back at the Showboat. The runners-up from our semifinal matches are going to get it on here for $50,000. $25,000 going to the loser of this match. Michael Moore mixing for a strike.
Mike's playing the same line he played in the first match, but he's using a different bowling ball. So we'll see what hopefully his outcome is a little bit better than the first match.
Now Doug Becker shot 156, eliminated by Frank Grasso. See if he can pick it up here in our consolation match from the High Roller.
Good opening shot. Comes in kind of light, just leaving the 10 pin. Still a lot of money to be won, so there's some work left to be done.
You had mentioned in the open that he had done some work with Jason Couch, pick up his game.
Jason Couch, a very talented touring player from Claremont, Florida, and another left-hander, is a good friend of mine, and been working with Doug. Doug says It's really helped him a lot in his game.
Mark a piece. Becker on a spare, second frame.
Well, coming in just a little bit high, leaving a 6-pin. Spare should be no problem for Doug. 2 frames, 2 balls in the pocket.
And the carry gods against Becker at this point, although things can change in a hurry. Single game, match play elimination here at the High Roller. And founder of the High Roller, Norm Edelman. Appreciated the opportunity to work with Norm and his tremendous staff all week. All sorts of sweeper action every day. In addition to this main event, the High Roller, over $2.5 million will change hands this week here in Las Vegas. Michael Moore mixes and an early double.
Well, so far, good ball change. Carried 2 light wallies there. Start the match. That's a nice looking shirt. I got to get me one of those.
They holding out on it?
I think it just came out for this event here. Okay, Mike just went a little bit high, got a good break leaving the 3-pin. The spare should be no problem for him. And he'll be leading by about 10, I think. Well done.
Strike, spare for Moore through 3. As Becker steps up with a pair of spares in his third frame. Only has 1 strike on this right-hand lane.
Yeah, a little trouble on this right lane. He's having trouble carrying. Carry's not very good right now. He's hitting the pocket.
Flip a little.
There it is. We'll be back with more of this $50,000 match from the High Roller at the Showboat. And welcome back to the boat, more High Roller. While we were away, Doug Becker doubles. And Mike Moore with a spare and a strike. 4-pin lead for Doug Becker. 5th frame can increase to 14 with a strike. $50,000 the winner of this consolation match. Becker 3 in a row.
This is more like Doug. I don't know if he was just a little nervous that first match, but this shot is just excellent. Notice the great swing that he's got. This ball is just dead flush. You knock 20 pins down hitting him there.
Becker increases to 14, halfway home here in the consolation match. $50,000 for 3rd place, $25,000 for 4th. Becker can pile on 10 more. Another strike.
Oops.
It looked like he kind of hung up in that shot, and that one went dead flush. Right here at the bottom, it just doesn't get off his hand clean. And I guess he just threw it the right direction. That ball was piped.
Moore on a strike and chip into the lead. Got to 14. And a mixer. Got ourselves a match.
You know, when Moore's speed is good, he hits the pocket. When he gets firm, his ball misses the head pin.
14 pins the difference. Moore can cut to 4 with another strike on the gobbler. Four-pin lead, Mike Moore, 3 in a row. We'll be back. More roller at the boat. Now this is the High Roller coming down to crunch time. 3-pin lead for Becker. Lead change with a strike.
Work, work, work.
Just a pinch firm on that right lane. Coming in light, leaving the 2-5. No problem.
Now we enter the 9th frame. Moore down by 5. Becker with a strike up.
Real important frame here for Mike. He wants to strike in this frame, to set up the 10th frame to give himself a chance to win this match.
Inside pays the penalty.
The 1-2-7-10. Obviously try to get the ball to the left of the head pin to slide the head pin into the 10 pin. The ball will cover the 2 and the 7 pin. But he loses count and he leaves himself with a real tough spare.
How's that shot? Keeps him alive.
Ball throws the head pin into the 10 pin, and the ball does the rest of the work on the 2 and 7, and he likes it.
He's like,
Keeps him in the match.
Never fails, and he bombed that first shot, that second shot right there. Very cool shot in that pressure situation. Here's Becker, 9th frame, strike up, can take control here with a strike.
One time.
Increases the lead to 19.
That was a great shot. Dougie has a chance right here to close Mike Moore out. This ball here is kind of out towards the first arrow and just absolutely dead flush. Very little, no deflection. It's that good ball roll that Dougie has. Just needs Mark to win.
Come on.
That's a good mark.
That's a good mark, and that's good for $50,000. Doug Becker coming back after a rather disappointing opening match in his semifinal match.
You know, Mike, this is the way I thought Doug would bowl in that first match. It looked like he had a good shot in practice. I don't know if he second-guessed himself or went with another ball or what, but this is really what I expected out of Doug. He's a great player, along with Mike Moore. I mean, obviously, Mike, is his first high roller, and he finishes 4th. The kid, he bowled great.
Doug Becker, $50,000. Upcoming high roller events, it's the 10th annual Senior Classic, August 19th through the 24th, right here at the Showboat. 40 and over Classic, August 27th through September 1st. The Senior Thanksgiving Classic in November, the 25th through the 30th. And looking at next year, the 40 and over Classic, January 19th through the 23rd, 1998. And the Super Bowl high roller, Bob Kruzicki, will defend his title January 24th through the 30th. For more information, call the high roller at 1-800-257-6179. And coming up, our championship match for $200,000. It's Renteria v. Grasso. We're back at the Showboat to get an on for $200,000. Paul Renteria and Frank Grasso. Renteria defeated Mike Moore 203 to 167 in the semifinal match to advance to this championship game of the high roller for $200,000. Frank Grasso defeating Doug Becker 220-156 in their semifinal till opening shot. Renteria, man in motion, falling short.
Little messenger thought about it, but said no. Not a bad opening shot. Leaves himself with a 10-pin. Should have no problem making it. $200,000.
On the 10.
Very nice.
Fills the frame for Renteria. And with Grasso repairing the digit there. That was just a moment ago. And getting a look at the hands of some of these players that have been competing all week. Oh man, not only the physical pressure and the emotional toll this takes, but there were hands looking like potato peelers were taken to him.
A lot of games.
Not to mention all the sweeper action. Oh,
See, I think that's a direct result of the new skin on the thumb. That new skin is slick, and when you put that on your thumb, it'll definitely affect your release. That ball just flew out of his hand. You see him right here. He gets right at the bottom of the swing, kind of stutters a little bit, and that ball just had nothing on it. Just flew like a wet bar of soap right out of his hand.
that's the third time he's whiffed the head on 52.
Yeah, still doesn't look like he has a secure grip or confidence in the ball fit in his hand.
Opening frame, open in the first. $200,000 to the winner. $100,000 for second. The 16th high roller. Second frame for Grasso. Doesn't look the same from that first match. Looks like a completely different Frank Grasso.
Well, I think his thumb's bothering him. He's got to acquire a feel real quick here and get his composure back and get back some of that confidence he had in his first match.
Recovering to pick up the spare. Crowd trying to get behind him, cheering him on. A lot of support from his friends from the East Coast area. And by contrast, Paul, Renteria, local favorite, very popular here in the Las Vegas area. On a spare, second frame. Crosses for the strike. There's someone you're familiar with, Randy.
There's Ernie. He's real familiar with Brooklyn's.
Ernie Schlegel representing Contour Power Grips. Been with Pro Sport Systems for a number of years, working for Don Heimbigner. Here's that strike.
Flush Brooklyn. I was just kidding, Ernie. Ernie's a great guy. He's been around the game a long time. PBA, ABC Hall of Famer.
First to ever be awarded both honors in the same year. And I used to dress like him when I was a kid.
Oh, no. Nice.
I used to have the bicentennial outfit. Ball a little light in the pocket, can't trip the two forward.
Again, going back to one shot causing another shot. It goes Brooklyn the frame before. This one, he gives it plenty of room. A little too far to the right, comes in light. Lucky frame, he only leaves a 2-pin because a hit like that, you can leave the 2-8, a 2-8-10, 2-4-8-10 combination. Easy spare. Should go straight and hard at it.
Spare for Renteria. Spare strike, spare for him. Grasso looking for his first strike in this match.
You know, the kind of guy Frank is, he needs just one strike to kind of jumpstart him, get that confidence going again. Lost it right again. Well, I don't know if it's the thumb or the $200,000 pressure, but he's just not getting through it. At the bottom of the swing, again, this ball is just mishit. It never reacts to the lane. And he leaves a tough spare, the 1-2-4, what is that, the 1-2-4-7? Tough spare. Try to catch the head pin on the left side going away, and the ball takes out the rest of them.
Grasso converts. 15 pins the difference.
Yeah, that's not textbook there, but he made it.
Fourth frame. Grasso would like a strike here to put some pressure on Renteria, who won this event back in 1992, and to be able to have success in this event more than once is amazing, considering over 1,000 players, single game match play.
Another shot missing the head pin. Well, he's real confused right now. He keeps missing the head pin to the right. 3 shots in a row. And again, how much of it is the thumb? How much of it is the weight? In between the first game that he bowled in this game. The rhythm in this sport is everything. And that's the way you make it.
Chops down back-to-back fences. Renteria, 19-pin lead. Back with more high roller from the Showboat.
Tim Conway's back, and he's hauling in a whopper. It's Dorf Goes Fishing, this year's funniest comedy home video. Let Tim Conway, as that master sportsman Dorf, show you everything you've always wanted to know about fishing. Go back in time to man's first fishing method. Let Dorf show you what to wear, how to clean your day's catch, how to get in shape, the joys of fishing with your spouse. Plus important boating and safety tips. Dorf Goes Fishing is guaranteed to be the funniest fishing video you've ever seen, and it's not available in stores. So what are you waiting for? Call and order Dorf Goes Fishing today. Call now and you'll get Dorf Goes Fishing plus this official Dorf floating keychain absolutely free.
For rush delivery, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-522-5333. The funniest, the most outrageous Tim Conway at his very best, Dorf Goes Fishing. That's 1-800-522-5333 or send $19.95 plus $4 to the address shown on your screen.
My father was always a better mechanic than a hitter. But when he led his team to the championship, the whole town believed it was nothing short of a miracle. So when the game was won, then lost on account of blindness, well, it was as if the whole world stopped dead in its tracks. Some things take a long time to understand, like what my father did for that umpire after the game.
Maybe the last thing you would do for somebody should be the first. A message from the Credit Union Foundation and your hometown credit union.
While we were away, Paul Renteria going to Brooklyn for a double, and now fifth frame, Frank Grasso trails by 29.
Well, Frank looks lost. Speed looks like it's faster than it was in his first match. That time he finally did catch some of the head pin, but left himself with a 2-4-10. Basically, he's going to try to slide the 2-pin over into the 10 pin, and the ball can take out the 4.
$44-pin lead for Renteria on the bench. Five frames, baby, is the call from the Renteria, or rather from the Grasso group. Still has half a game left to recoup. Just not the same Frank Grasso we saw in that semifinal win.
Nope.
He's never had a chance to get the crowd behind him. We had talked in the break that we'd said if he opens up with a double here and gets that crowd behind him, he's going to be a tough person to beat, but thus far unable to get that going. Still room. As we've come to expect from high roller, anything is possible. Renteria, 6th frame on a double. Can really take command of this match with a strike in the 6th. Carries out the 4-pin.
Well, got a big break there. Great break. Ball goes high. For a minute, he's got the big 4 standing, and all of a sudden, he's got the 4-6 standing, and all of a sudden, he just has a 6 standing. So, good break, tripping the split out. Leave himself with an easy spare.
.43-pin lead for Renteria. He would be the first to win 2 of these high rollers. This being the 16th annual. $2.5 million available for the bowlers between this main event, $1 million in a prize fund for this main high roller event. Other sweeper action going on all week here at the Showboat. Total prize fund of over $2.5 million.
Rip-rack 410, and something knocked the 4-pin out. This ball's got so much stuff on it, it just slaps the pin silly. Watch this here. He gets this ball plenty of room and a lot of hand, and this ball comes in and just slaps the head pin senseless, and the head pin's the one that knocked the 4 out.
Plus 43 and frames running out for Grasso. He's got to reach down deep. Try to find what he had in that semifinal match.
Come on, Frank, let's go, man. Start it down.
He's missed the head pin the last 4 out of 6 frames. Let's see what he's got left after a long week of competition. Coming up light, 245.
Well, he's getting closer. A little less speed and that ball would have made it. This spare is no gimme. Very choppable.
Grasso's made it to the final 64 players in the last 2 years. Previously, largest single prize he'd ever earned was $12,000.
Is choppable, is that a word?
It is now.
Okay.
I'll call Webster in the morning.
Thank you.
8th frame for Grasso. 45 pins. Have seen matches pulled out in the late stages here at the high roller. Just have to watch and see. Something to get him started. First strike of the match for Grasso.
Nice break, tripping the 2-pin.
Really neat sheet for 193 to put any kind of pressure on Renteria. Eighth frame working on a spare. And the baby.
You know, at this stage of the game, the only person that's going to beat Paul Renteria is Paul Renteria. He needs to convert this spare by getting the ball to the right side of the 3-pin. Actually converting the spare by making both pins with the ball.
We were in this situation last year. Big lead, 8th frame. Eddie Sachango went 2-4-10, 2-4-10, big 4. And of course, coming last year in the 96 high roller, with David Neal winning 200,000. Very nice conversion by Renteria there. Renteria's been clean, 16 frames in a row. And a candle in the window for Grasso. Bad count and a tough pickup.
Yeah, and not only is that ugly looking, but it's a bad count, and this definitely changes things around, especially if he doesn't make it. And I don't even know how you go about making this. I think you got like one of two ways to make it. You can either try to go between them or try to throw the head pin into the 610.
And the candle in the window just got a bit brighter. 26 pins. Grasso can cut it to 16 with a strike.
I mean, that's one way to do it, and he just didn't catch enough of the head pin and threw it behind the 10.
Nick Vogelsang beat Eddie Sachango in the Super Bowl high roller in a similar situation when Sachango went 2-4-10, 2-4-10, big 4. And it hinged on a Vogelsang strike in the 9th.
Well, this is the biggest shot of the week.
His evil twin was with him for a moment, but Frank Grasso is back in the building. Can cut it to 6 pins, and how things can change.
This guy is so exciting.
Must be the high roller.
Wow. He is so exciting. I'd like to see him make a good shot here, just to see his reaction.
Wonder how old the roof is on this place.
I don't know, but he can bring it down. He catches 2 in the 10th, it's going to be loud.
Down 45 just 2 frames ago, can cut it to 6 with a strike. Spare strike for 172 for Grasso. And Renteria pretty much just has to keep it on the floor.
That was a great week for Frank, and he put on a great show. He's a lot of fun to watch, and he's $100,000 richer, unless something terrible happens to Paul.
First two-time winner, the high roller. Right after this. Here's our winner, first two-time winner in high roller history, Paul Renteria. And on hand to present the championship trophy, Art McKee from Brunswick.
Paul, on behalf of everyone at Brunswick Bowling and Billiards, who's the world's leading manufacturer of high-performance equipment, the 1997 championship trophy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And the director of bowling operations here at Showboat, Jack Cook, with the money.
Paulie, great bowling. You had some great matches all week, and what an honor to be only the first guy to win the high roller twice. Congratulations.
Paul, how nerve-wracking is this to participate for this kind of money?
I don't have nothing left. I mean, I won the first one in '92, and I bowled very well. And this week, picking up my spares has got me here, and I can't even talk right now, but that's what got me here.
Tell me about the back-to-back Brooklyn doubles, playing in Grasso's backyard in Brooklyn there.
I don't care how I win. It strikes a strike.
Well, you are the first two-time winner in high roller history, Las Vegas' own Paul Renteria. For Randy Pedersen, this is Mike Jakubowski. So long from Showboat Lanes in Las Vegas, Nevada. This has been an ABC Eagle Productions telecast.